Okay, alrighty. Okay, so I'll go in and news probably starts. I don't know when it starts. I didn't come out with my iPhone out here, or otherwise I can check for the time. This little part of the Glob series, this little fucking out there somewhere, actually in the sky, wherever it is, there's a copter kept buzzing by. It's kind of fucking irritating me because I'm just trying to have a fucking beer, a little fucking beer right there. Anyhow, I just want to mention though what it's really about for some of the people that might not understand. It's like, hey man, I'm talking about for the worst of the people out there. Hey man, you're complaining about this, and in their opinion, I'm whining or whatever the fuck it is, right? And there's toleration points, but that's besides the fact. About what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate, from society or people out there. And most of these people, it's like, you know what? First of all, I didn't ask your opinion. Second of all, I don't like you. I don't like you as a person. Get the hell out of my face, right? But the issue here, though, this is more for the younger kids. A lot of it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. I hate to say. There's a political science book. It's actually written in the 15th century, but they still read it in basic political science. It's called Machiavelli. It's called The Prince from Machiavelli. And one thing they mention is it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. As far as the prince is concerned, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's who makes a bigger fuss, actually. That's who the leaders wind up listening to. Which, hey man, kind of sucks. Along those lines, though, nice little moon out there, by the way. I like that moon out there. So fucking alright. Along those lines, I do this, and I've already loaded about 15 gunks and 50 gunks and 15 globs. And I've already loaded well over 500 music videos. And I try to make sure I do all the good shit before the bad shit if I can. But knowing that it's not about if you're right or wrong, because I've had some shit happen to me. And if you want to know the truth, even in my best videos, where you think I'm complaining, I'm only at 80%. I'm only at like 80% canter. Okay? 75-80% canter. We're talking about straightforward talking as far as things that I've experienced, things I've seen and shit like that. I've talked about jail and some other things. But knowing that it's not so much about if you're right or wrong. I swear to God, it's about if people like you. And I'm not saying I'm liked. I'm not saying I'm liked. I'm not saying I'm well liked or anything like that. But what I've tried to do is try to give my good shit to YouTube and, some of the internet sites, right? I try to give that before I start complaining. But hey, man, we're spending time together, and we're gonna go at the beginning. It was 20-25% canter at the very beginning, right? It's just, hey, I'm Homer Cocktail, dude. Here's a song, right? And you don't have to know any more than that. And over time, you get to know each other. It's no different than your favorite MTV artist or any other musical artist that's made it in the public. Where it's like, hey, man, I like that song. Katy Perry has California Girls. I didn't like the girl too much, actually, until that song. I thought it was a decent song. And their other stuff is just borderline. I guess the kids like it. But then you start reading, about your favorite artists in Rolling Stone or other magazines or whatever. And fucking Axl Rose, man, I guess he was going in through this regressive psychological analysis or whatever, and figuring out why he's so mad at the world. They dug up from his suppression that he was anally probed as a kid. Right? So, hey, shit happens, shit happens, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's very candid, that's very much something that you'd only tell your friends, if even that, But over time it happens. Over time you start to, hey man, I've seen enough of your videos. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? So, with this gunk and glop. You know, we're going like from 65% candor to like 75% candor, whatever. And maybe in 4 or 5 years, I could tell you everything. You know, it's not all bad. It's just, so it's kind of freaky, dude. Fucking, this whole millennium's not been a fucking ideal millennium, bro. As far as politics and society and everything. For anybody, dude. So, you have a good time, man. Alright there. This is Homer Cocktail. Doing some vlogging. Homer Cocktail doing some vlogging. And this is Gumbo number 19. Gumbo number 19. Gumbo number 19. Gumbo. Okay, this is going to be an insert. Probably just a couple of minutes long. I kind of remembered what I was getting at in the last piece. It's about to go in. They made a joke about it. During the 2000s, it was a little freaky, and some people say that 9/11 was an inside job. And I have characters in my most recent book that are what's considered truthers. They call them truthers. I'm not sure if it came from Bill Clinton or where it came from. It's nice to be a truther as opposed to a liar, as far as, that's supposed to be something really bad, I guess. Anyhow, I remember watching SNL, Saturday Night Live, and anyhow, there's this idea out there. It's called the false flag, and the first one that I know that really tackled it, freaking many years after the 9/11 thing, but one of the first people that kind of challenged it was Jesse Ventura on True Television with his series Conspiracy Theory, where he talks about this thing called the false flag mission, where a country will allow itself to be attacked. Actually, it'll go a step further and attack itself in enemy disguise in order to start a war. There's people out there that profit from wars. You gain power from wars. But I was talking about, in this most recent piece, somehow I was in jail, found myself in jail somehow, and talking to the Secret Service. And on SNL, they're talking about, let me give a little more backstory. Basically, after the 9/11 thing, anyone, hired by the state, we're talking about teachers, crossing guards, postmen, it was like you were now a teacher slash policeman, a crossing guard slash policeman, etc. You're a groundskeeper slash policeman. And some would say that with the Patriot Act and all, it became a police state, It became a police state. Or at least as much as this country will ever be a police state, or has ever been in recent memory. And one of the other things I thought, about that whole thing, hey man, I'm in the CIA, I didn't do anything criminal, this must be the way they draft you into a secret kind of organization. There's no paper trail or anything, or nothing that would follow any kind of logical order from the outside. But I remember SNL alluded to something like that during their weekend update, you know. You know, hey man, fucking, it's like the draft. It's like the draft all over again, you know. I'm just a crossing guard, but I'm supposed to report some fucker that looks a little weird, you know. Okay then, look at that, leaning stalk, and a nice sun up there. All right, there. It's Homer Cocktail again, vlogging. Doing a vlog here. I might call this one Hypothesis. I'm starting to get a little backlog of videos that have got to be processed and loaded. And the ones I already did, you know, I did about, I don't know, a handful this past week. Yeah, Homer Cocktail 24, and that's where this might wind up going. And I have no views, which is good actually. Because, you know, when I started Homer Cocktail 076, I actually had a slow trickle at the beginning. Didn't know who was watching, and, you know, hey man, shit happens in life. And you want to get shit off your chest. And hey man, it seemed to me that sometimes the bigger the fuck up, the less you can talk about it. Okay? A few years ago, Jesse Ventura did I just have a blinking thing on my camera. I don't know what it's for, but anyhow, did a true television conspiracy theory, and this is goddamn like 8 years after the Twin Towers thing, and you know, sometimes you know what you got by what you don't have. And you know, this whole thing about the truthers trying to expose and implicate the United States government is, you know, with the whole project for a new American century, and you know, they wrote about it. It's a piece partly sponsored or sanctioned by Dick Cheney. They wanted a new Pearl Harbor so that they could get a lot of shit done with the military and more or less a police state. It's a new term to me, but constabulary forces or whatever. You know, they want everyone fucking policing every goddamn fucking person out there. And what you had with that 9/11 thing, and then hopefully we hit this quick to move on, is you have these people behaving like they're guilty.